Timmy and T, yeah, we raising the bar. Every sip's an adventure, we shooting for stars. Cut those wheels, take the scene, now we gliding in style. From the vineyards to the lounge, we redefining the mile. 4092 the base, where the legends reside. Mixing vibes, not just drinks, it's the culture we provide. Tuesday libations, Wednesday we scrutinize. Catch the flavor, feel the energy, we on the rise. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Yeah. Have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl T with Adventures of Spirits, and welcome to Adventures of Spirits. I'm just joking. Today we will be talking about a segment in reference to memberships. And so as a content creator as well as a consumer, meaning a consumer of memberships, I thought it would be good to speak about the different aspects of memberships and just to get some thoughts in reference to memberships from a creator perspective as well as a actual consumer perspective. But I'm not going to sit here and talk to you all about it by myself. Can't talk to you about it because Timmy is gone away somewhere with his guy friends. So I am by myself again. However, I'm not by myself. I actually replaced one, and I got four extra people, two couples that's going to join me in this conversation. And I think that they will definitely bring a variety of different perspectives when it comes to memberships as a creator, as well as being a member themselves of other creators. So without further ado, let me bring my guests to the screen. We're going to be bringing Carnival Cruise Addict, also Chris and Liz. How you doing? How you doing?
Good.
And we're also bringing your favorite couple to the stage. I also know them as Shelton and T. How y'all doing this evening?
Great.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining in reference. I wanted to talk about this topic because I've been having a couple of conversations with different individuals, YouTube creators or not, just in membership period, whether it's on a YouTube screen, whether it's personal life, whether it's Patreon, whether it's a freaking subscription to something that they forgot. Maybe it's an app or something or another. And everybody has different perspectives of memberships. So if you're the person creating memberships, there's a mindset that you have. There's goals and targets that you set, as well as what you think the members want, right? And then there's the flip side. As a member, you get to experience, okay, is my membership worth it or is it a waste of my money? And so therefore, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So on the get-go, let me bring my little banners up here. So just to make sure everybody out in the world knows, both of you all have memberships, right? And you are also members of stations, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So how many memberships do you think on an average? And I'm not just talking about YouTube, I'm talking about membership subscriptions. Let's see if anybody can guess how many, do you think you actually know how much money you're actually kicking out there for exclusive type information. So I'm going to start off with your favorite couples and showing the right side of my screen. How many memberships and subscriptions you think you have?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I know we probably just know at least maybe about $100.
No,
I don't know. I haven't analyzed that portion.
Yeah, we look at them individually, but yeah, collectively, I know it's more than that. It has to be. It's more than 20 memberships.
Yeah, more than 20.
So yeah, and if you think about like the streaming platforms and things of that nature, yeah, it's a lot more than $100.
Yeah.
So. Ooh, I can't even quantify it.
Okay. So what about you, Chris and Liz?
Oh yeah, it's way more than that. And I don't want to look because then I'm afraid I'll be like, oh no. I don't like canceling them. I feel bad, so I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, we're members of quite a few channels. We'll put it at that. It's if I had to guess, it's in north of 50 channels.
I don't think it's 50 channels.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked that question is because I specifically for this segment, I actually said, you know what, let me look at ours. And I'm right there with you all. It's like, oh my gosh, this is how much money is coming out to, you know, and I set a budget, right? But I set a budget for YouTube memberships. But then when I actually looked at it as a holistic, whether it's Patreon or just other subscriptions to other exclusive services to receive, I'm going, ooh, this is like a car note, you know, or whatever. If you really look at it. Now, I'm not talking about high luxury, like this isn't Lexus car note. We talk about maybe Honda Accord, you know, Honda Civic car note. But you'd be surprised just how much, which actually prompted this actual discussion, is because if we're members of so much, we have to have some form of expectations, right? That's number one. And then there are things, everybody looks for different things in memberships. And so, yes, we probably understand it as a member, but as a member or content creator that offers memberships, some of that, some of yourself is most likely in how you set your memberships up, right? So there's just certain things that you probably thought about and was like, well, if I were a member, you know, I would think that my audience or my subscribers or members would want this or see this, you know, or know this, right? So with that stated, how did you decide on the structure of your tiers? Like when you first figured, okay, hey, I want to offer a membership. What were some of the things that went in your mind in terms of how you set them up, what you offered? And actually it was two questions, so I'm just going to lump them together. And it was basically tiers and or perks or content, right? How did you decide on what to offer your folks?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. For me, it was simplicity. Like I know, Tanya, you have a lot of levels and you're very organized. I, on the other hand, I'm not as organized, and I didn't want to have to create like additional burdens on what I needed to do for each level. So I just did one to make it simple. And because to me, I just like, we do 3 videos a week, every week. And then now we're adding membership content. And I'm like, I did not want to have, okay, well, if you're at this level, you get this, and you get this level, you get this. I just didn't want to complicate it.
Right. Okay. What about you, YFC?
I think definitely for us, we actually have multiple levels, and we tied it up with our niche, travel. So everything has travel in front of it. So we have about four levels starting at $199. It goes up to $14.99. So we try to tie it up in that area, but we didn't want to over deliver or under deliver because we're already doing loan content. And we just try to balance that out.
Just like Liz was saying, because I know we researched initially and we were seeing what the other channels had to offer. And like, you know, we have busy lives as we all do. And like Liz was saying, we didn't want to overcomplicate it, but we did have, you know, we consulted with other channels out, you know, we'll be honest about that. And they were saying, you know, you want to do this, and then if people want this, they'll pay for it. You just have to give them. So we took all of that into consideration, but yeah, we didn't want to just overcomplicate.
Okay. Well, then if it makes me feel good because it's one of the newcomers on here. The memberships, it was like I thought about the memberships long before I was able to offer memberships. And I did the same thing. I was looking at others like, okay, well, what are they offering? What are some of the things to do? How do I tie it to the channel? You know, do I offer these tiers? And I'm pretty sure, you know, over time, things change, right? And I know this part wasn't a set question, but was there ever a time after you set your memberships that you said, ooh, let me make some changes to it? Or did you just leave it the way it was from day one? And if we want to start with Carnival Cruise Addicts, that'd be.
Well, I think we've only had memberships for like 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
So we're still new in the game. And like, I think we first started off with like, we're only doing exclusive members videos. We're not doing anything else.
Okay.
Right. So we're not doing members first. We're not doing shorts. It's just all exclusive member videos. And maybe we'll change that in time. But I think for us, like I used to do that weekly. It became a little bit too much to do it weekly. So now I'm doing it every other week. And I think it would be good to get feedback, you know, on our channels. Like, are people happy with that? Do they want more? Do they want less? Because we do stuff that's not cruising related too.
Right. We do a day in the life of, you know, so it's not necessarily travel related. It's, you know, we've done one where we're walking around Costco, you know, and filming us doing Costco. So it's more of the outside of the normal stuff we post. Some of them could be a little bit more fun, we'll say, with a few more expletives included in them. So it's just, like I said, it's a day in the life of, and we kind of like doing that as well.
And I can tell you, those are the funniest freaking ones. I can tell you, when I see the behind the scenes or like the, you know, just the member, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to laugh. Either Chris is going to say something or Liz, you're going to say something that sparks Chris to say something that's going to make people laugh. So I can tell you it is, I love them. I actually love them. So, and it's definitely worth the membership to see those things. So
yeah, the one that she did today, which unfortunately I haven't watched yet because I just got out of work, was us and Uncle Dave on the cruise together, and we did a behind the scenes yakety. She put the explicit parental warning on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think that if people are watching Carnival Cruise Addicts and they know that Chris is going to be talking, it's going to be some explicit. So I just think it's like, you don't even need to put that up there. It's a given. Like, tell us when it's not going to happen. It's just. So Shelton and Key, what about you?
Well, for us, it took us after we qualified for memberships, it took us like a year before we even cranked out the memberships.
Yeah, we questioned it for a while because we were like, will we be able to deliver? Like, is it going to be good enough? You know,
will we have any members? If we even announce it? That's the thought. All those things play in your head as you become a new content creator. It's like, hey, if I announce it, will I only have one member, or can I count them on one hand? But we had people start asking us, y'all don't have membership yet? Y'all monetized. Y'all don't have. I'm like, okay, they're asking for it. Let's go ahead and give them what they asked for. And next thing you know, it just started rolling in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, when we, like she said, we didn't really think that we would have members. We knew that, okay, we would offer it. We weren't sure that people were actually going to join. So we looked at the platform of others, saw what we could offer, we put it out there. But to be honest with you, we said if we had a member, we may have one, and they're going to be only at one level. And boy, were we surprised. So when the membership started rolling in, initially, you know, we were offering, you know, things as we stated that we would. And then time progressed, life kept going. And then we were like, oh my gosh, do we need to change it? Are we offering enough? We never solicited our members for feedback per se, because we were doing a lot initially, and then it kind of fell off because of other things that happened. And we were like, okay, do we change it? But we see that we can start offering those things again, so we're gonna leave it.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this, that when it came to offering the levels that I had, it was in the beginning because I figured, oh, you know, not a lot of people are going to join, right? But then I also looked at, okay, if I did want to offer something, my hardest thing was what price to put on it, right?
Yeah.
Those different levels, because you didn't want to outprice yourself, right? But then you also didn't want to, if it was a perk that required purchases and things like that, or postage, or, you know, just anything, shipping and whatever it was, that it had to even out where you didn't lose anything, right? And so I found, and I did the same thing, and halfway through a year of memberships, it was like, oh, I'm offering this, especially my tasting level. It was like, wait a minute, a lot more people are joining than I actually thought would at that level. I figured the tequila shot one and cognac was a gift, people will do that. They get a welcome gift and they get discounts on perks and stuff like that, access to certain streams. But the tasting one, I really did not think that people would sign up as many. And so I had to restructure that. And so I condensed the highest 2 tiers into one and put it on Patreon, because I was also researching and going, well, even though I may break even what I'm not really, because YouTube is taking 30% of it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm actually losing at least 20% of what I thought. And the only way I'm going to be able to continue is either I'm going to have to get something that's going to be less taken out, or I'm going to have to offer less. And what I didn't want to do is offer less. Like, I didn't want to decrease what people were already getting. I didn't want to carnival y'all. You know what I mean? I didn't want to say, hey, I'm sorry. I know Chris list, but I didn't want to say, oh, you reducing, I've been a member, and I didn't want to do that. So I thought that the best thing was to bring a level up, then bring another level that bring their price down, but still offer the same, but then bring the other one by just adding extra perks to the other level and just making them all one. So then everybody just get everything. And found that, but it did take some time of having the membership to actually realize, just like you said, Key, when you was like, oh, it's a lot more members. How do I still provide the quality of my membership, and still keep my members, right? So that does take a lot of work. And so with that, what about workload? So, we've already identified our levels and what we're going to offer. Some of us have reevaluated some things. What about your membership workload? I know you touched on it a little, Liz, as well as Key, in terms of how do you manage your time to provide your perks? Like, were there any certain perks or things that you offered that made you say, okay, I have to do this on these days, or I have to do this on this, or do you just fly by the seat and say whenever it happens?
I'm a schedule person.
Just about to say, it's coming out on this day at this time, end of story, period.
So
hence she says she's not organized, but I digress. Go ahead, Liz.
That's how I stay organized, because I have my videos come out certain days and time, and then the members are always Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Always Sunday. I wish you could schedule a members video. I think it's silly that you can't. Like, you have to actually go in and make it public, or members. But yeah, so every other Sunday will be a members video. And so that gives me at least 2 weeks if I don't have anything. I try to stack them, but if I don't have anything, at least I have time to ensure we get something out there.
Yeah, and the content, like we said, most of ours are a day in the life of, we're like, hey, what are we doing this weekend? Is that something that people will even be interested in? You know what I mean? So kind of hard to, I don't want to say hard, but it's always something, is somebody actually going to watch this? They're so kindly paying us $5 a month to watch this. Are they going to look at that and go, wow, I just wasted my $5 and my time watching this video? So there's a lot of mental pressure that goes into that. Is, am I going to satisfy my members? And because we appreciate everybody that actually, gives us the money every month. So that's a little on the tough side there. As for the perks, what we do is basically you can't buy it on our channel. You can't get anywhere. This is made specifically for the members.
You're talking about like the welcome gift.
Yeah.
The welcome gift is we have a koozie and a coffee mug that is only for members, and you can't get it elsewhere.
Right.
So it's not like you can buy it in our store. and then we write a letter and things like that. And I don't know, we might do something else after someone's been a year. Like, I don't know, we haven't thought about it yet because we're still shocked that we even have memberships.
We did not think people would even sign up, you know.
Well, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't want the workload, whatever. But then I saw how many members, like I was of their channel. I'm like, oh, I need to get some money back. Like, let's let's do this. So, and people do want it. I think the exclusivity and, you know, seeing people like kind of in real life, like people like it, right? At least I enjoy it.
I mean, we all watch each other on vacation doing the vacation thing, you know, and, you know, traveling this, that, and the other. So that's where, you know, we kind of came up with what are we going to do if we do one? And it's a day in the life of, you know, so.
Right. Okay. What about you, Shelton Key?
Yeah, similar to what Liz says. We actually have a content calendar, so we keep track of when these videos supposed to drop. We have deadlines. We know when we're supposed to create the content. Like for perfect example, our Tidbit Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes you guys, it comes out on Tuesday, but we actually don't shoot it on Tuesday. So we make sure we have all the content ready. And similar to what Chris said, we sometimes look at it and like, they're paying money for this. Will they be acceptable for this content? But we try to bring some uniqueness, some bloopers, some behind the scenes content that others may not even get a chance to see us in a different light besides the travel.
Okay. All right. So it's pretty much sounds pretty much the same here. There's a lot of batch recording that gets done, and then it's usually a month in advance. I used to do them, like try to do as many as I can, like 2 months in advance, but I can tell you I was so drunk on that one day I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I can't do 2 months in advance anymore. I can't do 8 episodes of Spirit Scrutiny. I can't do 8 batch episode of Spirit Scrutiny because my liver is like, I know you only sipped an ounce, but it's an ounce times this many in one sitting, so you can't do this anymore. So
episode 8 will be a bloopers reel.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So but yeah, in terms of members content, a lot of it since our channel is about spirits and stuff, you know, a lot of the time is day in the life. And what I've been trying to do is get Timmy in there more often. Is just that when it's happening and when it's being done, you know, Timmy's just not in place. So you may find Timmy in some of them, and then some of them is me, but you guaranteed to see me. But he actually, broke his live virginity or solo just recently while he's at the Hard Rock Punta Cana. So let's see how he likes it. You know, he did say, you know, he was a little nervous in reference to it. Believe it or not, he was like, well, what am I supposed to say? I said, well, you do the same thing you do when you sit here with me. You just talk to them. He's like, I'm just talking to the screen. What if no one shows up? So he's having those type of, things like that. So hopefully there'll be a lot more member content where he's posting a little more, which is what I was hoping that he would do for a day in the life. And it's not just always me. Because I said, I know after a period of time, the members going to be like, okay, we see you. Where Timmy at? So I said, let me try to get him on the track with things. But okay. All right. So basically, it sounds like in terms of the workload, we're all pretty much agreeing on scheduling. Batch recordings are very helpful to make sure that gets out. So what about community engagement? You know, what were some of the ways you encourage your member engagement and community with your memberships? You know, how do you rally your members together? What are some maybe unique ways that you've done certain things to either get people, not necessarily just to join your membership, but to sort of participate or be a part of whatever it is that you offer in your membership?
I mean, I don't know that we do a good job with this, quite honestly.
We'll say put comments below, and
No, we'll do a members post, on holidays or thanking the members. I mean, we also have our Facebook group where we're trying to drive engagement there, but that doesn't drive memberships on YouTube, right? I don't think we do a good job with like member engagement. We did a members live one time and it like did not work well. We couldn't see
the
we
comments.
thought nobody was in the chat. And it turns
wow.
out there was like a lot of people in there, but we couldn't see it.
Yeah, everybody's messaging us on Messenger and WhatsApp, stuff like that. No, we can see you, we can hear you. We're like, well, we're not seeing any comments.
So
And
I
we're
gave
like,
up.
oh God, nobody's here.
I gave up on members live. So I don't know. You tell us, Shelton and Keith, like what should we do?
Hey, I feel that we can do more, but at the same time, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, right? So you gotta find that fair balance where some members just want to support. You know what I'm saying? So they went from giving us super chat to now becoming members, in that residual form. But one way that we encourage engagement in that area, we do shout people out for their birthdays, their anniversaries. If our members is a content creator and we go in and support them by watching them, we can't watch everybody, but we try to watch their content and supporting those moves.
Yeah, but I do agree with Carnival Cruise Acts. I feel like we're not doing the best at that. We're just doing what we know to do. I know there was a time where we solicited a suggestion from our members, like, okay, what color should we wear? Should we do this? And then most of the time the feedback that we get is, well, do what you want to do. So
Yeah.
Oh, right.
so
It's like they support us either way. It was one time we do pop-up cruises, right? Should we announce our next cruise or should we do a pop-up, continue to do pop-ups? Either way, we'll support you. Either way, we're excited. Happy cruising.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
This will be a good time for everybody watching to put it in the comments below. Give us all feedback.
Yes.
None of us are geniuses, and any feedback is good feedback, whether it be critical, whether it be good. And we just need people to be honest to say, hey, am I worth for us $4.99 a month? Is that worth it? What can we do better for better engagement? So,
Well, and I do think like, because I started joining memberships, not even realizing you get anything out of it, just to support the channel. Like you said, instead of super chats, you're like, I want to show that I'm invested in this content creator and that I really care about them. And you know what? I still support a lot of channels that aren't even doing a lot of content anymore,
Right.
just because I like them as people and I want to support them. And that's okay too. And I think there's different reasons why people join a membership, and that's why it's like you got to cater to multiple, because some want something out of it and some just want to say, hey, I'm here for you.
Right.
I
appreciate what you do.
I agree with that. I think we were talking about that during maybe it was just in the chat, but it's true. Everyone supports everybody differently, right? They're either a member or they're watching you faithfully, or, they're sending super chats, or they're making sure that they comment, or they're sharing you out, or, some people join because they like what you offer. Some people join because they just like you. They like your personality. They want to laugh with you. They want to feel like, they're sitting around, the table with you and having fun and just talking about nothing. It could just be, hey, what are you doing? And people will just get to chat, and then the chat will create the conversation, right? And so that's when when people are really there for you and your personality. Some people are just blessed with certain personalities. I'm not that one. My husband is just not me. That's why I always feel like I have to offer something. I got to at least bring you here. Now, if you like it when you're there, then thank you. But I can be a little boring.
No, you're not.
No, absolutely not.
Not
And
at
he's
all.
like me. He's comic relief. We got the matriarch of the channel that does everything, and you got this guy that people are like, he said sausage again. But I think that's what makes or draws people to channels and subsequently memberships, is when you have a good ebb and flow between the people on screen. If you have a pair, you know what I mean? If I had to do this solo all the time, I'd be at the bar drinking, not doing it on YouTube, because together, spectacular. Me by myself, not so much.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's what I noticed about a lot of the couple channels. They play off each other. They're just, sometimes they're so much better together. than individually. So everybody, all the individuals have their own, but like together it's great. It's just greater, So
That's why they couples.
Say it again, Chris.
I said that's why they couples.
And there's always a serious one and the comic relief one, right? They bounce off of each other. Because I remember first watching your favorite couple. Now, I met y'all in person before I started watching you all because I didn't know you all had a channel. But when I did, I never forget the first couple of them. I said, he be looking at Shelton like, can you put the camera down? Can we eat? Like she would have that look on her face like, yes, we're here, Shelton. Yes, we're here. Yes, we're here. Okay,
Right.
we're
in trouble.
Can we go now? So when I would see, it would just crack me up. So I'm always looking at that sometimes in the video. And then sometimes it's reverse. I mean, sometimes you see Key and she's like a little kid in the candy store, and then sometimes she look like, I don't feel like being bothered today. I don't feel like it, Shelton. So I'm usually looking at that.
So true.
So true.
So, all right. So we can agree on in terms of community engagement and so forth. And everyone brings people together differently. I bring them together with tastings or certain live streams and so forth. Now, how did you determine what platform you used? Like what made you determine, let me use this versus another way?
Deferring to the master.
I mean, I just, for simplicity's sake, YouTube was the way to go. I wasn't gonna Patreon, or there are apps,
Mighty app or
apps,
something like
and all
that.
these. I'm like, you know what? I just want it all in one place for ease.
Okay.
So not much thought behind it.
No, I mean, so yeah, you like you said, you lose 30%. The apps, you might make more money, or they take less or whatever. But I mean, ease of operation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, same here. We just focus on the platform where we're mostly active at, and it was just easy. You just hit the join button. You just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Simplicity.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mine was the same way in the beginning, and then when I realized that YouTube didn't really allow me to collect information, and I had to rely on an outside source anyway, where most of the information that I feel is more important for the memberships that we offer, I had to do it manually anyway, right? And so the only thing was YouTube was just one place where you can just post something or message something and everybody gets it. But outside of that, it didn't offer address, phone number, contact, general information about, so you can at least get to know what your members like for certain things, So, okay. So you did mention, we won't need to touch on monetization and analytics, because I think we touched a little on that anyway, in reference to how you identify, your memberships and when you feel like changing it or when you've had thoughts of changing it. So feedback. You did mention it and was like, hey, we may not ask for feedback as often. I can say that I do plan on the end of the year to send out like a survey, if you will, to my members, which is actually one of the questions on the new member form, which says that, would you like a survey at the end of the year to offer me feedback? Because some people don't send me no survey. I'm a member, leave me alone. I'm just going to join. There's a lot of people that didn't even provide their address, no nothing. So they didn't get any of the perks that they were supposed to get. But a lot of them just email back and be like, don't worry about it. I'm just here to support. Don't send me nothing, whatever. I'm just here. So in reference to feedback, I know Chris and Liz, you mentioned it. Shelton, Key, did you mention anything about feedback? What are your thoughts about receiving feedback in reference to it?
Truthfully, if I didn't ask for the feedback, it's gonna be no. But I think if we're having a poll or something, I'm fine with the feedback. But either way, we're gonna do whatever we want within our channel first, foremost. It was our channel. But if we're offering if we're asking for feedback, that's a different conversation.
Right, right. Okay. All
That's
right.
a good point. That's a good point.
I would say we're open to it, solicited or not, because normally the unsolicited feedback is some censored, being a censored. You
But
know,
you don't get that kind of feedback from members, though,
No.
right? You get that from non-members. I
Mhm.
think so. We were on a cruise with Uncle Dave, and he's a member of ours, and we asked him, you know, what do you like our member videos? Do you want more of, less of? And he's like, oh, you guys are great, whatever. Like, that's the kind of feedback we've been getting. It's like, it's not I mean, not that it's bad, but it's like they'll take anything you give them.
well, maybe
Right.
we should do like a members only live, and the topic will be feedback about your membership. You know?
Yeah.
And then I think that might be cool because then you can go straight into the chat. And they're already members. You're not soliciting any new members. These are folks that are paying you
Right.
every month to watch your videos. So I think that might be something we do we were just talking about obviously not doing a member live because we totally screwed the last one up. But hopefully we can figure out how to get the chat in there and stuff like that. I think that'd be a good one, you know, because then we are soliciting it and everybody's going to bounce ideas off each other and we get to get the feedback.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
We're
So,
thinking.
so as a person who offers membership, what would you say you're most proud of with your membership? Like you're most proud of what you do for your members?
I love that we do members only. We don't do early release. We don't do preview, stuff like that. Everything that we release is for the members only. Like Liz said, not saying we might change it down the road, whatever, but there's a lot of channels out there. They're like, oh, members only early release. An hour
Members
later,
first.
yeah, members first. An hour later, it's on the general channel. I am not special at that point in time. You're
Right,
not worth
right.
my $5 at that point in time. You know what I mean? So if you did a video and said, you know, members early release, and then a week later it gets put out, that's not that bad. You know what I mean? But to me personally, and this is my personal, and Liz, I think, is on the same page. If they're paying us on a monthly basis, I want to see stuff that nobody else is going to see. And that's why I'm paying you on a monthly basis. So to me, that is very important.
Well, and there was a channel that I love that would do members first, then they would premiere it as a regular video
And then post it.
and post it, right? And so I would like, and then I watch them. So I watch the members first, then I go to the premiere, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this already.
Twice.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not watching it again.
Right.
And it just like, but like it's a premiere, so you feel like you should be there, right? And interact. And then I'm like, that's just lazy membership, right? Like to me, at least if you're gonna release, just put it out as a video.
Right.
Don't premiere it and act like you hadn't like had all these people looking at it already.
Right. Put the trailer at the end mentioning your members, something like that, but don't call it a members only video
So
because it's not at that
yeah,
point.
for us, it's just the exclusivity is kind of like the merch is exclusive, the videos are exclusive, and for now, that's kind of like where we're staying because like we want it to be exclusive.
Right.
We want them to get value out of what they're giving us, you know?
Right. I can tell you in the beginning of the membership, it was like I was using like everything. And I used to do like some members first. And then a week or two later, it would come out to the population. And then it was after a little while where I was like, you know, I think this function is probably best for channels who are out. Like, for instance, if YFC, if you wanted to let people know where you were going, right? Then that members first would be like, hey, my members know where we're going. But by the time the population sees it, we done already popped up on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be exclusive information where it matters to your members that you know first. So you can either book something first, get there first, do something first before anybody else can do it, because chances are they may not be able to do it later because the members got it first. So you're exactly right, Chris and Liz, in reference to that. What about you, YFC? What do you see as what you're most proud of with your membership?
I think for us, being very consistent with the Tidbit Tuesday, that's our baby. And I think that because nobody is doing like nobody's getting this exclusive content or know some of the secrets and some things that happen behind closed doors, right? So that
Right.
Tidbit Tuesday is kind of like our baby there. And also, I think too, having a mixture, because we got a mixture of non-content creators. I'm
Mhm.
grateful for the non-content creators because whether other support that you're getting at, where you don't have to really go over there to support their channel because they don't have a channel. So it would be great to have a lot of non-content creators, but we even grateful to have content creators. So having the content creators going over there to support their channel, making sure that they're getting taken care of, is one of our proudest moments.
Yeah, and then I know for me, one of mine was a travel trinket box that we offered, but we had to cut because of issues. And excuse me, we actually visited the post office today, so we got some good things that are coming down the line. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that back again because I was very proud because I had to make those boxes, and it took some hard work, but I was proud of the product. Hate that we had to stop it, but it was just paused. So we are going to get that rolling again. We have to because that was my thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I can tell you part of like that last part of what you said, I can say that is one of the things that we're mostly proud of is one, just being able to sustain the membership, especially the tasting level one, because the tasting level one requires a lot more preparation, a lot more work. And just happy that people are even participating, at all. Like these tasting lives, it's like, are any of the members going to, join me to taste this? Or are they just going to be behind the scenes and be in the comments and let me know what it tastes like? The whole thing is to create a camaraderie, in reference to it. And also just seeing the support just of the people, period, of all of my members. I'm just very proud of that. And so just keeping the quality of it to make sure that the members get what they want or what they're expecting or looking for is most important to me with the memberships. So now let's flip the hat over a little bit. So you're no longer creating memberships. You're not the membership offerer. You are the member. So let's flip it on what our member, as a member, what our member perspective. What are we expecting, right, as a member? So what motivates you to join memberships? What are some of the things that motivate you to say, let me hit that join button, or let me go ahead and pay this, whatever the price is every month or year or week or however it's set up? What motivates you to do that?
I think for fellow channels, YMC said earlier, is you want to be there to support them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that is probably the biggest thing, and we want to see something that nobody else gets to see.
Well, for me, I mean, because when I started joining memberships, it was like, I really like these people and I want to see them succeed. And if, me hitting that button is going to help them out, I want to help them. Right. So, and then before you know it, I'm like, oh, I want to support them and I want to support them. And, so some of it is I want to see something exclusive. Others, I'm like, I can't be in all your lives. You go live during times that I can't be there, but I'm going to show you that I care and I support you. And so I'm going to do this instead. Right. And so there's multiple reasons why, I think the harder question for me is like, how do I decide when it's time to not be part of a membership? And that's where I struggle. Right. Because once I've made that commitment, I have a hard time, taking it back.
What constitutes not doing that support anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a different question. So sorry.
It's okay because you're not the only person, I'm sure, that struggles with that a little bit. So YFC, what about you? What motivates you to join?
I think definitely for us, we look at it in a business model, right? So you're investing into a channel, right? You're you're putting shares or it feel like an investment, right? Because you don't want to put your hard-earned money into a channel you don't like, right? That's one thing. So number one, I have to like the channel. We have to enjoy the channel. We know that it takes financial money to run a channel, especially a travel channel itself, you know. So I think, and plus, there are content creators, we're content creators. We know what it takes to create the content, the time and the effort that it takes to get into it. So what really motivate us is we really have to like the channel, what it stands for, the values. We're not putting our money into something that we dislike and it's not part of our values.
And I know for me personally, I mean, I'm kind of like Liz. Well, usually if I like a channel, it doesn't like, you don't have to have a lot of subscribers or whatever. It doesn't have to be a big channel. You can have 1,000 subscribers. If I believe in the content that I'm watching, then I would like to support. But typically I'm not looking for anything in return. That's just me. Because my thing is, like you said, we know, especially if it's a travel channel, we know the cost that goes into traveling. And I just look at it as, okay, we're making an investment so that you can continue to travel, you can continue to produce content, and, you know, you can continue to grow. That's just how I look at it. And I don't even look for anything in return. So that's just me, except good content.
Right. Well, I can tell you my motivation for joining a channel most of the time is either one or two things. Either you're very much offering content that I want to watch, just like Key said, right? Shelton and Liz and Chris. We all agree that if you enjoy the content, you like the content, you want to see more of it or more exclusivity of it in different forms, whatever it is worth joining. And then there are times when it's, hey, I'm supporting, right? Like I may not be able, like Liz said, I may not be able to be in every live or every premiere or whatever. I am watching, but I also want to contribute monetarily because, like you said, Key, whatever it is that you're doing, we understand what it takes in order to create that. So it sounds like it's pretty much consistent on content and or support. It sounds like it's both. So, all right. So I think Liz touched on this earlier, exclusive versus public content. What are your thoughts and expectations regarding exclusive content? I think we touched on this already because Liz brought it up in terms of like members first and then not and so forth. And we all pretty much talked about what are some of the exclusive things that we offer, whether it's behind the scenes, day in the life, a different view of you or yourselves as people versus just the channel, you know. So we touched on that. What about special recognition? How important is it to be acknowledged or recognized by the person that or the channel that you're a member of? How important is that for you? Or what does recognition look like to you if you require any?
Definitely don't require it. It is cool to see. So, I mean, for me, this goes back to just if I'm watching somebody in a live or something and we put a comment up there, I'm still giddy after doing this 2 years when my comment gets posted on screen. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I want to read my comment. You know, I'm like, but to have a star, I think YouTube does next to your name, you know, that's, I don't know, I wouldn't say less important. It's less important to me. I like reading the comment, but I think a lot of people love having that acknowledgement that, hey, look, I put a comment up there and I have a star or a check mark next to my name. That means I'm a member of this channel.
Yeah, and you could do special emojis for that and whatnot. But like, I don't need if I go on, you know, either live, I don't need to say, oh, thank you for being a channel member. Like, I don't need that. Like, but I like at the end of your videos, if you say, oh, thank you to our members and you list all your members, that's nice.
That's cool.
Not needed, but it's a nice thing. Like, I appreciate it, you know, but like, to me, it's, again, going back to why you support, like, I'm not
for the recognition.
I'm not supporting to get something in return. Right.
Right.
Other than like more of the channel
Right.
that I am supporting, right? Not for our channel.
Right. Okay. YFC.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna say for me, being a member, I'm like exactly what Liz said. I don't need the recognition. I'm good. having memberships, we know that there are certain people who love the recognition. I mean, it's almost like you work for a huge, Fortune 500 company, and the big wig, the president steps in the room and they recognize you and say hi. They know you by name. It just makes you feel special. So
Right.
because of that, what we do is we don't know who like wants the recognition, who doesn't. We just try to, if we're live, we recognize everyone who's a member. If we have a video, that's the reason we put it there, because some people do want it. And we'll have people, we've all been live. Sometimes those comments are just going. And then
Yes.
someone's like, "Oh, you didn't speak to me." Like we'll get a text message like, "You didn't speak." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay. Hello,
Oh
thank
my
you for being a channel
gosh.
member." So that's the reason we do it. So we know that it's important to people. So we try to recognize them. And the only time that I will be, somewhat offended is if, okay, you recognize everyone, and then if we say something you don't recognize us as a channel member, then it will make, anyone feel a certain way. But again, my goal personally, I don't need the recognition, to be honest.
Okay. Well, with me, I'm somewhat like Chris. I like to see my comment on the screen. They don't have to say thank you for being a member, because I can, see the little symbol next to my name anyway. So that already, lets everyone else know that we're already supporting, right? I'm already supporting. But I also realized that, and this wasn't one of the questions, but since we brought up like what's not necessary and what's some things that we do like when it occurs, when your channel gets to be a certain size, right? Just like Key, what you just said about those comments get to going, and you're in a live and you're live, and Chris and Liz, y'all have a lot of people in your lives too, where like Liz is trying to scroll through 59 seconds. We got to be up off this live. And it's like, wait a minute, but you didn't get down to my comment or my question yet. So for those who like the recognition and like to see the comment on the screen, when your lives get to the point where, if you really thought about if all of your members came in your lives, just think about that. Because you may have a lot of members, but that doesn't mean they all come to your lives, right? I want you to imagine all your members coming into your live, and you just have an hour. And you're talking about something that they all have something to say. What is the likelihood that you're going to get to everybody? Chances are it's not going to happen, right?
No,
so I think that after a while, I think some members will have to understand that when it gets to a certain size, there probably would have to be, and I guess this is where the perk come in, where like members get a shout out first, or they get precedence over the non-members in terms of comments and shout outs and stuff. Because I've been in lives where like in the first 2 minutes, you're talking about 500-600 people in the room. And it's like, how are they going to see me way down here? I'm like what's that little XP they got now? I'm like number 362. No one's going to see me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if people are truly members of your channel, they're either A, don't want the recognition, or B, know that it's gonna be one of those days. You know what I mean? And they're just there to support you in your live as well. So it's tough. I mean, maybe a month ago, we hit 70 people in a live. We're like, what the hell do we do now? You know what I mean?
Right.
And the comments are flowing. So as we're just sitting there yapping with each other, we're clicking on it to at least try to get it on the screen for a second or two so they can see their comment on screen. Right. So yeah, it definitely gets difficult when you get a lot of people, it's great to have a lot of people, but like you said, you might feel like you're letting a couple of members down because their comment didn't make the screen. So it's tough.
Right. Okay. All right. So here you go, Liz. This is you mentioned earlier. Membership reassessment. How often do you assess the memberships you pay into?
I mean, I don't have a schedule on it, but I'm like, it was just the other day, and I looked at the list, and I went, oh my gosh.
Told you she knew what it was.
It is a car payment, like for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
what am I getting out of that membership?
it was, what am I getting out of this membership? And am I that supportive of that creator that like I actually want to continue to support? Like, I feel like, like, I don't know, how like you follow channels and then over time you kind of get like disillusioned by them and you're like, you know what, I'm not really into that anymore. Or maybe it's not my thing anymore.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I actually like canceled the membership. I felt bad.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
but to her point, this person had not posted in a month and a half.
Like
anything membership related. And if you're going to do a membership, it's going to take extra work. And if you're not going to put your extra work into it, I don't think anybody's going to give you their hard-earned money to something that you're not doing anything with, quite honestly. I mean, I thought, she's like, what do you think? And I was like, if you're not getting value out of it or enjoyment out of it, it's not worth it. It's like, let me go buy a Big Mac. Why? You're a vegetarian. Well, everybody else eats them. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get the enjoyment out of that. Don't buy the Big Mac.
I think that's like the worst analogy ever. But whatever. But anyway, like, because I care about people, like, I just felt bad, and like I almost like signed back up just to be nice, because I'm like, it's only like $3, whatever. But I'm like, you know what? I can't, because that's like, I have to set a limit.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other people I want to support.
Right.
So I have to take away like from the people
Yeah.
who I don't feel, it's not even that I feel like I'm getting anything from it, but it's like their content is not resonating. It's no longer something, and they don't come to ours. They don't watch our videos. They don't come to our lives. They,
Right.
they don't do like, so it's kind of like, it's a mutual thing. So I'm like,
Right.
okay.
Bye, Felicia.
Okay. Bye, Felicia.
Anyway.
Shelton and Key, what about you?
Oh man, I think we need to do a better job at looking at who we still have membership under. There's some members that we have that they stop being members and they come back or rejoin or something. Almost like a tit for tat per se type mentality.
Wow.
And I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, it's almost like the quid pro quo. I join yours, you join mine, and that's what we want to get out of. We don't want that. But we will say, in terms of the memberships that we pay into on YouTube, we do assess those quarterly, and so we have to go. But it's still hard sometimes, because some of these people we've developed like relationships with outside of YouTube, and it's like, but you're not doing anything. We had membership with a channel, and it had been literally like 3 months. They hadn't produced anything, and we were still paying into the membership. And it's like, we love you, but we can't do this because there's so many people. We did have to put like a limit, like we can only have just so many memberships, because like you said, it's a card note, and we're pouring out more than we're taking in. Not saying that we want something in return, but there are so many people we'd like to support. So we had to stop that membership and then transfer it to someone else that we would, we want to support. So it is hard sometimes, especially if you know the people. But I mean, hey, right is right. You're not giving us anything. Why are we paying?
Right. And sometimes that's hard, but I feel that if you develop relationships outside and you're reassessing, then you should be able to be open. If anybody brought it up and said, hey, I noticed you're not a member anymore, you'd be like, yeah, well, right now, you're not giving what I need right now. When you come back into it and you do certain things, then I may rejoin. But right now, I have to put it just like Liz say, there's other channels or other things that I need to commit my money to, because I am getting something out of it and I want to see more of that, or I want more of whatever they're, providing and so forth. You should be able to say that, right? But we all know in real life, a lot of it's sort of like, okay, so I'll say this. There's a place I would go to get my nails and my pedicure done, right? And I stopped going because one day I wasn't going to be able to make it there through traffic. So I went someplace else, and they actually did a better job. And so I started going there and stopped going to the original spot. but I have to pass the original spot. They see me more often because all the stores are right there. So if I'm going into Publix, if I'm going to the grocery store, if I'm going to the pizza place, if I'm going to the Chinese restaurant, everything is right there. And it's almost so awkward when you're in the grocery store and you're passing your former nail tech and it's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, where have you been? You haven't been here. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of travel. Like, or I'll say I've been like literally making excuses. And I'm thinking, why am I lying for? Like, why do I feel I need to have an excuse? It's just, hey, I just go someplace else. It's just easier. It's by my job. It's more convenient. That's not a lie. But that's what I end up having to say at the end. But now when she sees me, she doesn't talk to me. So
You feel so bad, you know. It's like,
I do, but that's just the truth. And my whole thing is you have to understand that in life there are things change. Some people are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? So some things are seasonal, you know, especially when you have to pay for something, right? So but yeah, I think I actually reassessed. I've only reassessed once. And I think maybe I've canceled 2. And then, but that was only because, and usually the only reason I actually looked to reassess was because I try to maintain a budget for, I'm just talking about YouTube right now. I try to maintain a certain budget every month and try not to go over. And so like, once I have those numbers, I've committed to those memberships. I'm in those memberships until I actually, because, you know, over time you begin to grow, you begin to watch other people come out, you look at their content. It's like, oh, I really like this. And it's like, I would like to be a member. I like the content that they're offering, but my budget's full. So who am I going to let go? Or is there anybody to let go? Right. And so sometimes there is, because, you know, just like you all said, sometimes it's you're a member and no one's been putting out anything. I'm like, okay, well, where are we going? You know, I need something. Send me a t-shirt then or something. At least it'll pay for the membership for the year, you know, or whatever. It's like, hey, I paid for my membership for the year. I got this t-shirt. I got this cup. At least I got something. You know, if you don't do that. But
I mean, and I think that's where if you offer memberships as a channel, you should strive to be one of those channels that kind of breaks that budget. You know what I mean? I'm spending $200 a month, but damn it, these people are good. Can I go to 205? You know,
Right.
Be that channel, be that membership.
right.
I don't know what you're saying.
She doesn't do budgets.
Be a channel that makes somebody want to blow their budget.
Yes.
Is that it?
Right.
Oh, that's what I said. Sorry. My bad.
All right. And so we touched on this too, but we touched on it as a content creator because we all said that, hey, it's my channel and I do what I want to. We got that. But now you're the member. So what are your thoughts about, would you provide your membership host with feedback?
Only if it's
solicited or unsolicited?
Only if it was confidential.
Yeah, it's not going to be out there in the world.
Right.
So that's a great point. And
Because otherwise I'm going to be too nice and say, oh, it's fine, or whatever you do is great. You know, because obviously if I'm a member, I care about them and I'm part of their like world. Like, to me, I'm invested, but I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Right. So if there was a way to do it where I could say, like, look, your members first videos are dumb because you put it out at 12 and then you release it to the public 2 hours later. Like, I would love to say that, but I would never say that to somebody probably.
Right.
See, that's the difference. I probably would. But as Charles said earlier, not unsolicited, not necessarily needed, you know. So, but I mean, to me, any feedback is good feedback if you do it respectfully, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, we do the yakety yaks, and the things people send to John is, I don't know how this dude maintains his sanity. You know, so if it's done respectfully, I think it would be welcome. But just don't be coming at people. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, Shelton Key.
Yeah, I think if it's coming from a good place of heart, coming from your heart, and there's a lot of feedback that we provided from some of our members where it was like behind the scenes, like, "Hey, great job on that video." You know, oh, sometimes they ask us about the thumbnails, and we kind of like, "Yeah, I like this one better," but they choose to use the other one anyway. But why did you ask me for the feedback? Besides the other one? So, but you run into those situations, but we try to provide the truth.
Yeah, and especially, and I'm in agreement again with Liz, because a lot of times people do solicit our feedback, but it is behind the scenes, and you feel more comfortable being open. I mean, if you know me, I don't have a problem saying how I feel, to be honest with you, but I think that it is received better in a one-on-one format versus being available open to the public. So yeah, that does happen. So if they ask, I provide. If they don't ask, I normally don't say anything unless it's just something that's really bothering me.
Well, I can tell you, my annual survey is coming out in December, and I'm letting you all know, because you all are members, and everybody else who's listening, y'all can be honest and open and transparent. Y'all can cuss. Y'all can tell me you need to stop that crap. That's a waste of time. I'm okay. I'm okay. You don't have to be nice. I'm gonna need you to give me some good feedback. You don't need to find your words. Just say it how it comes to your mind. Because trust me, I'm just gonna look at what you're saying and not care about how you say it. Because one thing I look at and have found is that you can't grow without the feedback. And so since that's something that I'm looking at getting, you know, I'm always looking at where can I get better, just generally, just in life, period. It doesn't matter. I'm always asking for feedback. And so for everybody, I'm good. I'm a straight shooter. Gonna be a straight shooter with me. It will be in survey format. So yes, it is confidential. So only me and Timmy will see it. So just be open and honest with us, because you know, we want to give you what it is that that you want, and just not waste your time with stuff that you don't, right? Because we can be putting effort into something else that actually matters to you. So, all right. Well, that was pretty much it. Did you all have anything else to say about membership, either being a member or offering memberships that we haven't touched on?
It'll be on your feedback form at the end of the year.
Okay.
Tanya, what I will say is when we did decide to do our membership, we wanted to emulate not the levels of yours, but the way you do memberships. You do an excellent membership. You welcome people in, you send them merch, you're very consistent in how you recognize people. You're constantly recognizing birthdays, anniversaries, milestones. So
you take care of your members very well,
do.
and we are beyond impressed with that, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, and we have to echo that. You know, it's just that, you know, all that eating out, we can't wear our shirts anymore. So
you need to stop.
I am so serious. So that's why we're trying to do better. But no, you do a great job with your membership. Seriously, too. Like, I mean, it's better than a lot of. I'm not even gonna call them out, but you do a great job.
Great job.
Well, thank you very much. Dre from Tripping with Dre and Michelle had joined and became a member a couple of months back. And when I first sent, you know, the package, and he has signed up with the tasting one, right? And it already in my mind, I was thinking, he don't even drink like that. So, you know, I'm thinking this definitely must just be a support type membership, because it was so funny when he got this thing. He said, just the packaging alone is that's what the membership done paid for. Just the packaging that you send the stuff in, you know, and my whole thing is I just want to make sure my members, especially when you're paying that type of money, that, you know, I want to make people to know that this is where your money went. This is where your money has gone. And so that's why all my members get something, you know, so then they can say, this is what I got for my membership, and these are the other perks as well, you know. So I just look at that. But thank you so much. Thank you for that positive feedback. Well, everybody, before we go, as I always do, what do y'all have coming up? I'll start off with Chris and Liz. We know y'all on Sundays. Y'all got Yakety Yak. Members, if you are a member, you already know when those videos come out. But do you have anything else that you want to let everyone know about?
No, I mean, we're just a regular Sunday live.
Yep.
We got our regular schedule. Vlogs dropping on Thursdays.
And just thank you to everybody for spending time with us. You know, it's still weird to this day. We're just over 2 years of doing it. And it's like, my mom called me up the other day and she goes, "You were on TV again." I'm like, "No, Mom, it's YouTube." She goes, "But you're still on my TV." So it's still weird. And just thank you, everybody. We appreciate the support.
Okay. Shelton Key.
Well, you know, Tuesday is coming up. We got Tidbit Tuesday
Yeah, for our members.
for our members,
Uh-huh.
and we got more content just coming. We just
Yes.
got content coming
On Fridays.
on Friday. So
Mhm.
we just got travel coming.
Well, I know y'all gonna have a lot of it because y'all been gone. Y'all been gone over the last few. Every time I turn around, y'all on the ship. So I said, so either these are like they just put them all together. I said, no, they just on the roll. They on 1, 2, 3 days later, they on something else. 2, 3 later, they on something else. I said, man, those are goals right there. I'm trying to do that.
It's the memberships. Having the memberships really help fund these trips. So thank you guys.
All right, everybody. So for everybody, be sure to tune in as usual, Venture Spirits. Every Wednesday there's Spirit Scrutiny. We have Shots with Scott, which occurs on the last Wednesday of every month. We got Sips on Ships. Actually, our last Sips on Ships in reference to Carnival Cruises will actually air this coming month in October. And then we will visit it back again with other cruise ship bar reviews, which will start in February of next year. So there'll be a break with Sips on Ships and Shots with Scott. We'll revisit and see what those segments will be next year. Make sure after this, you go and tune into Banter with Bill. And then right after that, you're going to get Thirsty Thursday. So make sure you link on into them. Make sure you put hashtag Spirit Raid when you do after this video. So with that said, thank you both so much. Thank you all for joining this evening and just talking about little stuff that I just, sometimes I think about stuff and I say, well, I want to get some other people's perspectives on these. So thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening and sharing it with me and talking about this. So thank you, and y'all have a good evening.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate the invite.
Thank you
Take
for
care,
having
everybody.
us.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
This one's for my crew, my inner vibe. Exclusive moments where the spirits collide. You're the ones who ride through thick and thin. Spirit members, let the show begin. Spirit members, this time's for you. VIP love for the chosen few. Let's sip, let's vibe, it's your special space. Spirit members, welcome to the place. Ooh.